Albert Einstein, the eccentric genius who changed our understanding of the universe. Just imagine this. You're a small child living in an era before TikTok existed. Smartphones were just science fiction fantasies. And instead of playing on a PlayStation 5, someone hands you a compass. How boring, right? Today's kids would probably toss it aside and go back to scrolling their screens. But not Albert Einstein. This child stared at that compass as if it were the latest iPhone just unveiled by Tim Cook. And guess what? That was the beginning of everything that would transform physics forever and eventually give us GPS so we'd never need compasses again. Really, Einstein wasn't a genius from birth. Contrary to what many believe, Einstein wasn't like Mark Zuckerberg, coding since childhood and creating social platforms from college dorms. During his early years, Einstein had nothing impressive to show. His grades, compared to today's children pushed into endless tutoring sessions, would make him just an ordinary student. What's more surprising? In his childhood, Einstein was considered a slow talker. Several of his teachers even thought he might have learning difficulties because he was quiet and took a long time to answer questions. This teaches us an important lesson. Just because you don't fit into traditional education systems doesn't mean you can't succeed spectacularly later in life. This concept is especially relevant in an era where children are labeled as either smart or not smart from a very young age. But what he had more than anyone else was an unquenchable curiosity. In an age without Google to ask or clever chatbots to provide answers, he was obsessed with two questions. Why does a compass always point north? And what exactly is time? If you've ever asked questions like these instead of wondering why celebrities change their look so often, congratulations! You might have some physicist DNA in you. Educational rebel. Loved learning, hated school. Few people know that Einstein actually despised the strict German educational system that emphasized memorization and obedience over creativity. One of his teachers even told him, "You will never amount to anything in life," because Einstein questioned, well, everything. At 15, Einstein actually dropped out of school to follow his family to Italy and prepare for entrance exams to the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology, a leading Swiss institution. But even there, he failed subjects that weren't science or mathematics. He had to attend high school for another year before successfully gaining admission. In an era where parents pressure children to study hard, get good grades, and enter prestigious universities, Einstein reminds us that the path to success doesn't always have to be a straight line. Sometimes, the winding roads lead to the greatest discoveries. From ordinary clerk to scientific superstar. After graduation, Einstein didn't land a job at a tech company or prestigious university. Instead, he became a patent office clerk in Switzerland. In today's terms, that's roughly equivalent to document organizer at the Intellectual Property Office. But here's the amazing part. While many of us waste time binge-watching Netflix series or endlessly scrolling social media, Einstein used his free time to think about the universe, time, and energy, and ended up changing science forever. Just imagine, if you stopped consuming online entertainment for a month, you might come up with black hole theories too. This patent clerk job turned out to be perfect because it exposed Einstein to numerous new inventions and ideas, especially regarding clock synchronization and electrical signal transmission. These later became crucial inspirations for his work on the relationship between time and light. Another advantage of being a patent clerk, the job gave him enough free time to think and conduct personal research. Unlike university professors who had to teach or laboratory scientists who had to follow assigned research topics, Einstein had the freedom to study what truly interested him. Many people in our current era might envy this, as we're chained to emails and meetings all day long. The miraculous year that shook science. The year 1905, or what physicists call the miracle year, was more revolutionary than all the AI technological breakthroughs combined. In just 1 year, Einstein published 4 papers that each transformed science in unprecedented ways, and he was just 26 years old. What were you doing at 26? His first paper proved the existence of atoms, which many scientists still doubted at the time. This would be like proving aliens actually exist today. The second paper explained the photoelectric effect, which later became the foundation for solar cell technology we use everywhere now. This paper, not relativity, is what earned him the Nobel Prize in 1921. The third paper explained Brownian motion, the random movement of particles in liquid. This might sound boring, but it provided crucial evidence confirming the existence of atoms and molecules. And the fourth paper introduced special relativity theory, including the formula everyone recognizes, E equals mc squared. To make this simple to understand, this formula is like Coca-Cola's secret recipe, or the algorithm that makes social media addictive. It changed everything. It tells us that energy and mass are the same thing in different forms and can be converted back and forth. This became the theoretical foundation for nuclear power and atomic bombs, which, we shouldn't talk about too much. To visualize this simply, if you could convert the mass of a small rock completely into energy, you'd have enough power to run every appliance in your home for thousands of years. Einstein versus Newton, recognizing our understanding of gravity. Before Einstein, the world explained everything using Newton's laws, much like how we once thought Nokia would dominate the mobile phone market forever before Steve Jobs unveiled the iPhone and changed the game permanently. If you asked people back then, why does an apple fall down? And not the Apple company, they'd say, gravity pulls it down, obviously. Simple enough, but Einstein didn't think that way. He proposed that the universe is like a giant memory foam mattress, and planets or large objects are like people lying on the mattress, creating depressions. Smaller objects like apples or us roll toward the heavier objects. That is what we call gravity. This was his general theory of relativity, which Einstein published in 1915 after intensely working on it for 10 years. The theory explains that gravity isn't a force pulling objects together, but rather the result of space-time curving around objects with mass. He proved this theory during a solar eclipse in 1919, when scientists observed that starlight bent around the sun due to gravity. Einstein became an instant superstar. In today's terms, it would be like becoming as famous as multiple worldwide celebrities combined. General relativity remains crucial for modern technology because without incorporating it into GPS systems, location data would be off by several kilometers each day. Imagine if Google Maps sent you to the wrong location miles away from your destination every day. Did Einstein create the atomic bomb? The answer is no. Although his E=mc² formula provided the theoretical foundation for nuclear weapons, Einstein had no direct involvement in developing the atomic bomb. The true story is much more interesting. In 1939, Einstein signed a letter to President Roosevelt warning that Nazi Germany might be developing nuclear weapons and suggesting the United States should start research in this area. This letter partly led to the establishment of the Manhattan Project, which ultimately developed the atomic bomb. But Einstein didn't participate in the Manhattan Project, and when he learned the bombs had been dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, he was deeply saddened. He later stated, "Had I known that the Germans would not succeed in developing an atomic bomb, I would have done nothing." After the war, Einstein became a passionate anti-nuclear weapons activist, using his fame to advocate for peace and disarmament. This serves as an important lesson that scientists must consider the ethical implications of their work. A hot topic in our era of rapidly advancing AI. Einstein, the human side of genius. A genius like Einstein was bound to have some quirks. He disliked wearing socks, similar to how Mark Zuckerberg wears the same gray t-shirts repeatedly to reduce decision-making, often forgot to eat when absorbed in thought, and whenever stressed, would pick up his violin instead of dwelling on problems. Einstein loved music, especially Mozart, and began playing violin at age 6. He once said, "If I were not a physicist, I would be a musician." There are stories that he often solved physics problems while playing music. Perhaps this explains why music education remains important, even as education increasingly focuses on science and technology. He also had an interesting love life. He married Mileva Maric, his first wife, who was a brilliant mathematician herself. Many believe she contributed to his physics work but never received proper recognition. Later, he married his cousin Elsa, which wasn't unusual at that time, though today's society might view it differently. Einstein also had an excellent sense of humor. On his 72nd birthday, a photographer asked him to smile for a picture. Instead of complying, Einstein stuck out his tongue at the camera. That image became one of his most famous photographs, showing that even as a world-renowned genius, he maintained his childlike spirit. Einstein and quantum physics. Even geniuses make mistakes. One fascinating aspect is that even Einstein had limitations, especially when confronted with quantum physics theories that emerged during his later years. He never fully accepted quantum physics and famously stated, "God does not play dice with the universe," expressing disagreement with Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, which suggests some things at the particle level are probabilistic and cannot be predicted with certainty. Einstein believed the universe must have definite, fixed laws, not dependent on chance or probability. He spent his final years searching for a unified field theory that would explain everything in the universe with a single equation, but never succeeded. Strangely enough, the quantum physics theories Einstein rejected have been tremendously successful and form the basis of many technologies today, from computers and smartphones to lasers and medical imaging. This teaches us that even the greatest geniuses have limitations and personal beliefs that may be mistaken. Einstein's legacy in the digital age. More than 100 years later, Einstein's name remains synonymous with genius. His theories still form the foundation of modern physics and affect our daily lives more than we realize. GPS systems on smartphones must incorporate relativity theory for accurate positioning, because time on GPS satellites passes slightly faster than on Earth, exactly as Einstein predicted. Solar panels worldwide rely on the photoelectric effect Einstein explained. MRI scanners in hospitals work thanks to magnetic field principles connected to Einstein's theories. Black holes, first photographed in 2019, were predicted by Einstein's general relativity theory a century earlier. Gravitational waves detected by scientists recently were also predicted by Einstein, even though technology in his time wasn't advanced enough to measure them. His famous tongue-out photo became an iconic image worldwide before anyone even knew the term viral. Today, his image is one of the most recognized and shared in the online world. Even in the era of quantum computing that Google, IBM, and other technology companies are racing to develop, everything still builds upon the physics theories Einstein helped pioneer. Scientists continue searching for a theory of everything that would unify relativity and quantum physics, Einstein's final dream that remains unfulfilled to this day. Einstein on politics and society, a scientist in a world of conflict. Few realize that Einstein wasn't just a physicist, but also a social and political activist. As a Jewish man who fled Germany before the Nazis fully took power, he became an American citizen in 1940. Einstein supported democratic socialism, opposed racial discrimination, wrote numerous articles on these topics, and maintained friendships with many civil rights activists. When Israel was established in 1948, he was offered the position of becoming the country's second president. Though deeply honored, he declined this position, saying he lacked the skills to work effectively with other people. Conclusion: Einstein, the true influencer. That time has proven. So, the next time you're on TikTok and feel time passing incredibly quickly, even though you only intended to watch for 5 minutes but 2 hours have passed, remember, this is Einstein's relativity theory in real life. Time is relative, depending on what you're doing. And don't forget, Einstein was once just a child staring at a compass and asking, why? Instead of asking, what app should I play next? In an era where we can ask anything to AI technology, if you want to become the next Einstein, perhaps you should start by putting down your smartphone and looking at the world around you with childlike curiosity once again. The final lesson we learn from Einstein might be about creativity and imagination. He once said, imagination is more important than knowledge, because knowledge has limits, but imagination is boundless. In a world where AI is developing rapidly and might surpass humans in knowledge and calculation abilities, what makes us human may be our creativity and imagination. Because after all, just one question can take you further than even the most advanced technology could ever bring you.